Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mina, and today we are beginning another reading vlog for the weekend. It is Thursday. I just finished with my teaching and my weekly teacher meeting, so I'm pretty much done for the day in terms of work, and we are continuing along with my Star Wars journey. I'm almost done finally with the original trilogy. This is going to be the last installment of the original trilogy vlogs that I've been doing, and I will be reading Return of the Jedi, which is the third Star Wars book, Star Wars film in the original trilogy. Now, honestly, Return of the Jedi is not my favorite of this series. I prefer Empire Strikes Back, I prefer A New Hope, I even prefer some of the prequels over this one. This is probably one of the Star Wars films that I have watched the least amount of times. I want to say that I've only seen this movie 3, possibly 4 times, which for me in terms of Star Wars is not a lot of times. So I don't love it, and I found myself, I think the first time that I watched it, I was slightly bored, and I know like for a Star Wars fan to say that about an original trilogy film is like blasphemy, but I don't know what it is about Return of the Jedi that I just don't connect with, and I'm hoping that my reading experience of the book will actually allow me to appreciate it more, and hopefully my re-watching of the film, because that is what I'm going to be doing sometime this weekend, is re-watching the movie as well. Maybe I will be able to, like I said, appreciate it more, enjoy it more, and hopefully change my perspective on this story, this book. What I do remember about Return of the Jedi is that we've got the Ewok scene, we've got Boba Fett, we've got Leia being revealed as Luke's sister. So there are a lot of like key and iconic moments within this movie, and I do appreciate it as being part of the original trilogy, but everybody has their favorites and least favorites, and for some reason this one is just not one of my favorites. So that being said, I haven't started reading it yet. I just got done with my previous book last night, and I just decided to give myself a break until I started reading this one today. It's pretty short. It's about 200 pages, I believe. So I'm hoping I will be able to get it done over the weekend and count this as my last read of February, so that will be exciting. And yeah, I'm just going to take you guys along with me, my journey reading the third book in the Star Wars original trilogy, and that's pretty much it. So my plans for today, me and my husband are actually going to my parents' house for dinner, so we'll probably leave in the evening sometime, like 5:30. And I think I'm going to just read until then. It's like 2:20 right now, so I'll probably do some reading, some relaxing, and then we'll go. And then I will catch in with you guys a little bit later when I've actually started and I have some initial thoughts to share with you guys, but for now, I've got nothing to say. So I will see you guys a little bit later. Well, you guys, it's a little bit later in the day. It's now 5 p.m. and me and my husband just went out. It's actually really beautiful weather right now. It's like 50 degrees, and I took my jacket off, and it's just sunny and nice, and it's giving me all of the spring into summer vibes, which is amazing. I don't have any reading update to give you guys because I only read like 20 pages so far of Return of the Jedi, but I do want to come back on later when I've read at least like 50 pages just to talk to you guys about my feelings so far. I still find that this is like my least favorite from the first 20 pages that I've read. I'm just like not gripped with the story, and I don't know. It's just not my fave. That's just what it is. But I'm hoping like I can get more interested as I continue reading. We also went to Starbucks, and instead of getting myself coffee, I got a Trenta, which is like literally bigger than my head, pink drink. And yeah, I decided not to do any caffeine since I do have to wake up for work tomorrow early, and I didn't want to like ruin my sleep. Plus, I will probably go back to Starbucks tomorrow after work and get a cold brew then, so I can wait until tomorrow. That being said, that's pretty much it. We're about to, my husband just went up to feed the cats since we are gonna be out for dinner. So when he comes back down, we're gonna go to my parents, have dinner there, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get more reading done and this won't be like a waste of a reading day. But yeah, I will check in with you guys later, probably when we get back from the parents. Hello friends, it is now the next day. It's currently Friday afternoon. And I forgot to update you guys yesterday evening. I'm only about 50 pages into Return of the Jedi, so I do want to give you guys my thoughts. But yesterday when I came home from my parents' house, I was just so tired. I was like reading and falling asleep, so I couldn't really update anything. Before I actually talk about my thoughts, I did want to show you the cute little anniversary gifts that my family gave to me and my husband. We went over to their house for dinner last night, kind of like as a mini celebration for our 1-year anniversary, and they surprised us and gave us these cute little gifts that I thought were just so sweet and nice, so I wanted to share them. The first thing that I got was from my sister, and she got this beautiful boho looking vase that I don't know what to do with, but I definitely love it. It's totally my style. I think I'm gonna either put it on my desk or find somewhere else where the cats can't get to it and destroy it. That's like my plan. So that was the first thing. And the other thing that they got for me was this beautiful print, oh my god, the glare, of a wedding photo. Let me see if I can, I guess that's like the best that I can do. There's like a really bad glare because I'm right by the window. Oh, this is okay. This beautiful framed print of me and my husband on our wedding day. And this is my absolute favorite picture of us from all of the photography that we had done that day. So my mom did this one because she knows it's my favorite. And it has this like bamboo kind of like framed background, and it's just like a little tile. I don't know, it's just so cute, so beautiful. I always wanted to frame this picture in particular, but I just never got around to doing it. So now I have it, and I don't know what to do with this. Should I hang it on the wall, or is that like, do people not do that anymore? I feel like these days I don't see people putting pictures of themselves on their walls. Maybe I'll just put it on my bookshelf or somewhere. I don't know, I have to think about it. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know, but it's so beautiful, I love it. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. And then I also wanted to come on here and talk about Return of the Jedi. I'm now 50 pages in, so I can give you guys some thoughts now that I am a chunk of the way in. And first things first, because I've seen this movie so like little, because I've only seen it like 3 times, there's so many details that I forgot about the film or just like got confused with. For one, I forgot that Leia is the one who rescues Han from Jabba's palace. I, for some reason, when they were talking about this masked bounty hunter, I was like, oh my god, that's Luke. And then I was like, wait, no, it's Lando. And then when they revealed who it was Leia underneath the mask. And I was like, oh, did I forget that? Like, why do I remember it being someone else? But it was Leia, so that was like a nice surprise, even though I should have known that. The other thing that I wanted to say is that the first 50 pages are pretty much just centered around the whole Jabba's palace scene trying to rescue Han, so there isn't too much going on, and honestly I just don't like this scene. I hate Jabba. Like, I hate anything to do with him. I hate just that whole moment in the film. But I do have to say that in the book, they describe, the author, whose name is James Caan, he describes that scene really, really well, and it seems like it was translated very well into text. Sometimes I noticed that through reading these Star Wars novelizations, it's hard to capture the action sequences and the events that are going on from the film into text that makes it interesting and understandable. But he did a really good job at describing everything and kind of making the action go along well in text format, if that makes sense. So I thought that that was done really, really well, even though I hate that scene. And one thing that I am loving so far about this is how much of Luke's thoughts and like internal dialogue we're getting. And I know we've been getting that since A New Hope, so it's nothing new, but particularly in this book, from what I've read so far, there's a lot of his feelings about missing Obi-Wan and just like thinking about him and how Obi-Wan was pretty much his master, and meeting him was kind of like transitioning from his old simple life into a much more meaningful and important life that he has now. So those thoughts and descriptions are they're just really touching. And you guys know, I don't know if you know this, but Obi-Wan is my favorite like fictional character of all time. So I just love anytime he's mentioned or there's flashbacks or his Force ghost comes up. I just love anything to do with Obi-Wan. And I also really like how we're kind of seeing Luke in a new light, because this is the first time he's really stepping out into the world as like a true Jedi. He's like fully, I don't want to say fully because his training was obviously cut short, but he's more fully realized and fully formed as a Jedi, as opposed to obviously in A New Hope, he didn't know what the hell was going on. In Empire Strikes Back, he was just beginning to learn, and now some time has passed and you can really see how he embodies those Jedi traits and how he's learning new skills and abilities, and it's just such a fun transition and like progress and character development over the course of the trilogy, which I absolutely love. And it's so funny because the author mentions how at one point meeting up again with Han felt like he was a kid again. And I'm like, oh my god, like I still think of Luke as a young teenage boy, but at this point he's a completely different person. And there's a lot of discussion even from the beginning, from A New Hope, of like age and like wisdom, and how the more you grow in life and the more experiences you have, the older and wiser you become. And that's just like a central theme of Star Wars, I think. So seeing those moments just really captures something for me. I don't know, it touches me in the feels. So yeah, I'm not hating the book as much as I thought I would. I'm actually enjoying it, but I am looking forward to just getting out of the whole Jabba scene and into more exciting territory. So I will check in with you guys later with more reading thoughts. Plans for today: I'm done with work for the week, thank God, and I have to go to Staten Island and do something with the DMV. I need to like upgrade my license, so not fun. Have been dreading it all week, but I have to do that. And then again, because I'll be in Staten Island, I'm gonna go back to my parents' house and probably just chill there and eat dinner there again and do some reading. So those are my plans for today. Possibly get myself a coffee, a Starbucks on the way as usual, but this clip is way too long. I'm going to go and I will see you guys later. Hello, you guys. Ooh. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later, about 3 o'clock now. I'm on my way to my DMV appointment. It's at 3:45, but I think I'm just gonna head over there now. I'm like 10 minutes away, just so that I could like be there and just like wait in the car. I'll probably, if I have time, do some reading, but I stopped by to get some coffee. I didn't get a cold brew today, which, surprise. I got a latte, which is my other go-to, so not really a surprise, but I did something kind of crazy and I didn't get half and half in my coffee. I got just regular whole milk, even though I really like when my coffee is extra creamy. I was just feeling like trying just regular milk instead of half and half and seeing like what the difference is. So here goes nothing. Okay, mixed it up. Oh my god. It tastes good. Obviously, like when you drink half and half, it's thicker, so the texture is different, but I'm not mad about it because I feel like sometimes when I drink my latte with the half and half, it's like hard to swallow, if that makes sense. Like it's just like really thick because it's cream, it's not just milk, it's half cream and half milk. So it's good, obviously, like it tastes good, but it just has a different consistency. This is a little bit more, I would say, like refreshing, I guess, because the milk is lighter than the half and half, but it still tastes good, which is the point. So yes. That is so nice and cold. And like I said last time, I now do extra ice, which probably defeats the purpose because it waters it down over time and you get less drink because there's more ice, but I just really appreciate when it's super cold. So yeah, I'm not mad about that. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy it. That squeak. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy it for like 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna head over to the appointment. I've got nothing to update to you guys. And then I'm gonna go to my parents' house after. Hopefully this doesn't take long. I'm just like, again, panicking because I didn't realize that, like, I don't think I need anything except for my driver's license. And probably I have to pay something for this upgraded license, but I don't think I need any documents or forms to fill out. Hopefully they like have everything there because it didn't say anything in the email. So I was kind of panicking on the way over, like, oh my god, I didn't even check to see like if I needed to fill anything out ahead of time or print anything, but we're just gonna go and wing it. And it's Friday. It's been a long week and I'm just ready to like not have to wake up for work tomorrow morning. Like that's just, it's just golden, you guys. Okay, this caffeine is like already hitting me. It's funny, I didn't even get full caffeine. I got 2/3 decaf, which is actually not much, but we're trying not to do too much caffeine right now. That's the goal. Okay, I will see you guys later. I don't know, like I'm just lonely. I'm talking too much to the camera. I'll see you guys later. Guys, it's a lot later in the day, in the night I should be saying. It's like 8:30 I think, and I just got home from my parents' house. I do want to give you guys some updated thoughts on what I've read, but I kid you guys not, I went into the DMV and again, I couldn't get what I wanted to get. Like, I don't know what it is with me and like just not being a good adult, but apparently I didn't have all of the things that I needed in order to upgrade my license, so I had to make another appointment and I have to go back on Wednesday. This is just the story of my life and I've accepted it at this point, but I hate adulting. Like, I literally just miss not having these types of responsibilities and my parents just doing everything for me. That was the life. By the way, guys, I'm 26 years old. Like, I'm not a new adult by any means, but before I got married, which was only a year ago, I never lived by myself. So, like, on my own, away from my family. So you can imagine the struggle to transition from dependency to independence. But anyway, I did read a little bit more of Return of the Jedi and I'm actually kind of liking it. It's not as painful as I thought that it was going to be. We just got to the point where Luke goes back to Dagobah and Yoda dies, which is actually quite heartbreaking. And I know in the movie it's sad, but I don't know, reading about it and again just hearing like Luke's thoughts while it's happening adds an extra layer and like a little bit more emotion to the scene. So I definitely appreciate like how it's played out in the book. It's just like, it's sad. Like, that's his other master. And he basically, you know, he lost Obi-Wan and now Yoda, and he's feeling it. He's feeling the pain. So it's like a really intense scene. This is also the moment where Obi-Wan's Force Ghost reveals to Luke that he has a twin sister, and that twin sister is Leia. And it's definitely not as shocking as a revelation as the Luke, I am your father sequence in Empire Strikes Back, but I'm sure people who watched Return of the Jedi were, you know, they were just so shocked. Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know how other people react to these kinds of things, but yeah, so that's where I'm up to. I had like other thoughts that I wanted to share, and for some reason I can't remember like what I wanted to say. So I think I'll just come back on tomorrow, and if I remember what I was going to say, I will say it. But what was I going to say? I really want to remember because it was actually like a good thought. Let me just go back into the text and see. I mean, I don't think this was it exactly, but after Obi-Wan's Force Ghost tells him basically that Leia also has Force abilities and she was supposed to train as a Jedi as well, he kind of goes into this little discussion about destiny and fate and how it's meant for Luke to become a true Jedi once he defeats Vader, and how Leia was meant to be trained as a Jedi as well, and they were both supposed to kind of like live out a different destiny than the one that they have. I just feel like there's like so many deep conversations involved in the Star Wars franchise that makes it such a, it's gonna be weird to say this, but a relatable text, even though this is a sci-fi, and obviously like the characters are fake, the universes are fake, the abilities are fake, like the creatures are fake, like as much as those things are like fictional and fantastical, it also is just rooted in a lot of very real discussions and things that people contemplate in regular life, and issues that reflect like regular societal problems, like rebelling against a corrupt government and, you know, people wanting more power than they should have. It's just, that's why I love Star Wars. I think I say this in every Star Wars video. It's like, this is why I love Star Wars, but there's just so many reasons to love it. And I feel like people who don't like Star Wars don't really understand, or they're not aware of all the depth within the stories, and they kind of just assume that it's like nonsense or like folly because there's all these weird creatures and weird things happening and it's science fiction and fantastical, but it's very real in the sense that the themes and the struggles that the characters face are rooted in reality. So I hope that convinces anybody who does not normally like Star Wars to give it a chance and see like that there is more to it than what meets the eye and like what you see on the surface. Okay, I just got really deep there. I'm going to continue reading, wait for my husband to get home, we're gonna watch some TV shows, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Hello friends, it is now Saturday morning, it's the next day, and I've got my new Boba Fett t-shirt on. I thought it was perfectly fitting for Return of the Jedi, since Boba Fett is a minor character in the plot. I just wanted to come on here and update you guys. I haven't done too much since I last spoke to you last night, but I do plan on reading a bunch today, at least I hope. I'm not doing anything. It's kind of rainy and gloomy outside, so I don't think I'll be going out anywhere. I kind of just have like a couple of things to take care of at home, some editing, some grading, cooking, like the usual stuff. So hopefully I can devote most of my free time to reading another chunk of Return of the Jedi. And I have to say, I don't remember if I said this yesterday or not, but I'm really enjoying my read of this, and I think, or at least I hope, the reading experience will kind of change my mind and my feelings on Return of the Jedi, since, as I've said before, it typically wasn't my favorite in the franchise, and I don't watch it for fun normally. Like, that's not the Star Wars movie that I like go to when I want to watch a Star Wars movie. So I'm hoping that reading it will get me more into Return of the Jedi, and hopefully it will become a new favorite. And I'm actually really excited to revisit the movie. I'm either gonna watch it tonight or possibly tomorrow. I'll see like how much time I have and how much I get done, but I'm excited to rewatch it. Like, it's been a while, and reading through the text is kind of gearing me up for all of the scenes, the characters, so exciting stuff. And in terms of like updates, how I'm feeling, there isn't too much to say. We are now past that whole Jabba palace scene, which is great because I hate that part. And now we are on Endor. The Rebel Alliance is planning their attack on the Super Star Destroyer, I think that's what it's called, which is basically like a Death Star 2.0. And the Empire is planning to kind of like fight back against the rebels. So that's where we are. Leia just got captured by the Ewoks and she's just waking up. So in case you're wondering, that's like where I am right now. The only thing that I wanted to mention that I forgot to talk about yesterday was about Vader and being able to see into his thoughts more in Return of the Jedi versus in the previous two books. We did get his perspective in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, but I think like now that the mystery of like his connection to Luke has been revealed, we're able to get more insight into his feelings about Luke and his family and things like that, which is really nice. And I think getting to read the books as opposed to just watching the films, it adds a layer and it gives more knowledge. Like, you learn more about the characters, about the story. There's just a lot more details that can be added in the book versus what you're able to see in the film. So I do recommend to people who love Star Wars, if you haven't read the novelizations, I still think you can enjoy them even though you know the story and you've seen the films so many times. There's still more in here that you don't necessarily get from just watching the movies. So I highly recommend people check out the novelizations as well. But going back to Vader, it's so interesting because I like loved Anakin's character in the prequels. I love the prequels. Like, contrary to most Star Wars fans, I love the originals and I love the prequels. I don't discriminate. And I just love the story of Anakin and how he turns to the dark side. I love the story of his relationship between him and Obi-Wan. So there's a lot for me to enjoy, and I think seeing Vader talk about his past a little bit and wanting to reunite with Luke, obviously not for good reasons. He wants to turn him to the dark side and rule with him, but you can just like see how, not really conflicted, but just how deep like his Sith mentality goes, where he doesn't even really recognize like that he's doing something wrong. Like, he's one of those villains where he actually thinks that what he's doing is like okay, and it's just like sad hearing him want to reunite with Luke, and like the reason why he wants to reunite with him is simply because he wants to rule with him, get rid of the Emperor, and, you know, just have like unlimited power. So I don't know, I just thought that like hearing his perspective, just, it broke my heart a little bit. It's such a heartbreaking story, and I think that's why I love the prequels so much. It's just like a lot of backstory, a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, and I enjoy those things. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. What do I have to do? I'm gonna eat something really quickly, I'm gonna start editing, and then I will catch you guys a little bit later when I have some more reading thoughts. So I just made myself some tea. It looks super like murky, but I promise it's good. This is the vanilla honey chamomile tea from, I think it's called Celestial, just like a tea brand, and I'm drinking it in my Dagobah mug. Then I've got some berries and a little piece of pineapple pound cake, which also doesn't sound, it sounds weird, but I promise you it's really good. So I'm gonna eat this. I'm going to do some editing of the vlog, and then I will
do some reading, hopefully. Also, public service announcement. This kiwi strawberry vitamin water is the best. I usually don't drink anything much other than water. Like, that's the only thing that satisfies my thirst, but this definitely is refreshing. It is now Sunday evening. I didn't vlog at all today, but I did finish reading Return of the Jedi, and now I'm going to put on the movie. So yeah, I will share with you guys my thoughts, and I'll probably give you my final thoughts on the book tomorrow. So sad.
But I need your help. I've come back to complete the trilogy.
You're too late, Luke.
Quiet. I'll let you know you. Then you dream. She told
Obi!
betrayed and murdered my father.
Hello friends, it is now Monday. I didn't end up really vlogging yesterday. It was kind of just like a chill day, but I did end up finishing my read of Return of the Jedi, and I also had a chance to watch the Return of the Jedi film. So I'm here to give you guys my final thoughts on the reading experience as well as my re-watching experience. I have to say, this is kind of weird, but I really ended up enjoying the book version of Return of the Jedi. I felt like there was so much given and provided in here that you don't get from just watching the films. And I think this is just like a recurring theme that I'm going to be experiencing every time I read a Star Wars novelization. I think that the authors can just do so much more because they just have more time and space to develop characters and scenes, as opposed to having time constraints when it comes to film. You can only show so much, and obviously because in a novel you are able to get inside characters' heads, there's so much that can be done in terms of thoughts and how characters feel that we don't necessarily get when we're just watching a movie, because we only really see from their expressions and their actions and what they say to other characters about how they feel and what they're thinking. So there's more omniscience, I guess you could say, in terms of the novelizations, which really allow room for so much more. So I loved my experience. I know I started off kind of being a little bit negative about this one because it's not my favorite of the Star Wars films, and obviously the first maybe 30 to 50 pages of this book are not my cup of tea. I hate the Jabba palace scene. I just hate that whole sequence. But after that, everything with the Ewoks and Luke going to Dagobah and the whole scene with Luke fighting Vader in the end and Palpatine, all of that just was so good in the book, and it was really emotional. I'm not even gonna lie. I think the conclusion of this trilogy has a lot of raw emotions when it comes to Luke's feelings about being conflicted as a Jedi and being turned to the dark, his feelings about his family, about, obviously Darth Vader, about finding out that Leia's his sister. There was just so much emotion, and I literally cried at the end of reading this during the scene with Vader and Luke. First of all, it is done so much better in the book, and I have to give the author James Caan credit because he's a superb writer. I think out of all three of the Star Wars original trilogy novelizations, his was my favorite writing style. He definitely has this like old-fashioned kind of classic book style, but in a way that's accessible to everyone and that's not too like complex or like pompous, if that makes sense. And he just has beautiful language. Like, just there were some sentences where I felt the sentences in my bones because of how powerful and intensely written they were. And like I said, the scene with Luke and Vader, when Vader's like, I want to look at you, like take my helmet off, when he finally like redeems himself because he saves Luke, it's so freaking sad, bro. Like, we're in Vader's head and we're also in Luke's head, and it's like they finally meet each other for real for the first time, not as like enemies, as actual family. And Vader's dying and he's like, I wish that I could just, you know, go back and change things. I was seduced by the dark side. Luke was right. And it's just really, really sad. And Luke is like, this is the first time I'm meeting my dad and he's literally about to die. And oh my God, I cried. I cried, which is, so I definitely am the type of person who will cry during sad scenes in movies and books, but for Star Wars it doesn't happen as much. But I don't know, that scene just really got to me. I was sad. And then in terms of like the film, I felt like it wasn't done justice. That scene with Luke and Vader, it was rushed and there wasn't the same kind of emotional impact because we weren't inside their heads. And I think that really, really captures the like depth of that moment. So that's kind of disappointing. And just overall, when I was rewatching the movie, it's definitely not one of my favorites. Like, I still stand by that. I have a different perspective on the story of Return of the Jedi because the book experience was so good for me, but still rewatching the movie, I didn't feel any different about the film, which is weird because you would think if I really enjoyed the book, I probably would appreciate the film a little bit more, but I found myself still having the same feeling, still thinking that it was like the weakest of the three films. There are, like I said, some iconic moments, so I can't discredit it, and I'm sure it's the favorite of many people, but for me it just doesn't resonate. Like, it doesn't connect with me as much as the other two movies, and even the novelization version of Return of the Jedi. I definitely connected with that more than the film. The other thing that I wanted to mention is at the end of Return of the Jedi, the film, one thing that really did get me was after they defeated the Emperor and destroyed the Death Star 2.0, there's this moment where we see other planets in the Star Wars universe and people coming together and celebrating, and you literally see it in like Coruscant, you see it in just a bunch of other planets that are not like named. But I thought that that was so deep, and it was nice to see, like, again, that theme of camaraderie and rebelling against corrupt powers, and how much of an impact it has on the entire galaxy as opposed to just like one planet or one group of rebels fighting. It's literally an all-encompassing war, and to be able to see so many different planets and different peoples celebrating that moment gave me like goosebumps when I was watching it. And then of course the ending with the Force Ghosts with Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda is one of my favorite things to see, so I did enjoy that. But I don't know, I have like really mixed feelings when it comes to Return of the Jedi, because on one hand my reading experience of the novelization was so good, but I still feel the same way about the film. I don't know how that could be, but that's just what it is. And that's it for the original trilogy, you guys. I read through all three of them. I'm so happy that I vlogged this experience because Star Wars is one of my favorite stories ever, and I've never read the novelizations before, so this was such a fun experience, and I definitely do want to continue with these Star Wars reading vlogs. So I'm definitely going to do it for the prequel film, for the prequel novelizations, and probably some other canon Star Wars books along the way. So let me know down below in the comments what some of your favorite Star Wars books are. If there's any Star Wars books that you would like to see me do a reading vlog of, please suggest them to me. I'm always looking for good recommendations, but I have a few like on my list, so we'll see. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy this. I will see you all very soon in my next video, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful day today. Bye guys.